Hi everyone, it's Bitcoin from
the Big Jabowski.
This round I'm fighting E. Dilly from the guild GGC Guardians A. He's got a Padme team in Arena over here, but used to put in General Skywalker as one of the characters before, I believe in place of Grandmaster Yoda or Ahsoka, not quite sure. So he's been experimenting with that a little bit. He does have a full General Skywalker team, but the relics are a bit lower for now on a bunch of them. Relic 5 Django, that will be a fun one. Relic 4 Stormtrooper Han, so in general a decent roster. He tends to do the same on defense most of the times, but sometimes he changes something up depending on the opponent he faces. So it can be tricky to try to anticipate someone like this, because they might end up doing something different than what you did. So I considered setting my very strong defensive wall against him, but I was pretty sure he wasn't going to break it, because he doesn't have the speed, he doesn't have the characters, like a Gear 12 Bastilla, who's relatively slow, I believe. Let me take a look, because I looked into this before. Yeah, 275, so he was a little bit lacking, and I knew he wasn't going to break that wall, but do I necessarily want to stop someone from clearing me, was the question. So actually when the phase launched, I usually have just the time to check what people did, and then I can go to sleep. But in this case he immediately started attacking, and I can show you what he did. He started attacking, so he full cleared me for starters, but 1856 is really not that efficient. He started attacking my General Skywalker and got 50 banners against that, so I'm guessing that he either used that Padme General Skywalker mix that he had in his arena, or he used his own General Skywalker team and simply had 1v1 in the end. So that's a possibility. Then up against the Grievous team, although getting 50 would be a bit tricky then, because there would have to be someone alive still on his end. Maybe like one clone or something. That's possible, I guess. Then up against Grievous, same thing. I was actually kind of surprised he one-shot that one. That's pretty impressive, but also only 50 banners or something like that. And then I saw him go in up top against my Django team here, and he lost that. But the strange thing is that he only took like a third of the protection from my Cat Bane, and that's it. Which is really odd considering there is no protection regeneration on this team. So somehow he only did a bit of damage to Cat Bane, and then my whole team overran his. Which seems a bit weird. I mean, what would you have sent in the first place then on the first attempt as well that would only do that kind of damage and then get killed? It's a bit odd to me. I have no idea what he ended up doing there, so I'll be looking out for that in the records when this week is over. But yeah, that hurt him quite a bit. And the boss team here, I can show you the modding a little bit earlier in a sec. Gave him some trouble, the others didn't. The Night Sisters he beat for 58 banners, so he uses Bounty Hunters over there, I'm pretty sure. Maybe even added what. Then Ewoks he actually also failed against. I didn't watch this anymore, like the back wall, because if he fails once, that's enough for me. That's enough of a buffer to be able to win it. But yeah, he failed up against this as well, and I guess it's easy to underestimate this team. But if we look at the overall map, like how much I kept on defense and how much he kept on defense, which is the same as what he always did, then I tried to balance it very carefully, where I thought he was just going to drop banners on most of the battles and not necessarily fail anything, maybe the Grievous team, but he ended up failing on top of that. So I thought it was going to be somewhat of a banner match. And in this stage in the last week, I also don't want to sort of screw people out of getting Kyber if they're already going to lose the battle, probably. It's pretty harsh to deny them Kyber by only allowing them to clear maybe 1 or 2 zones. So I'm trying to not do that this week, but sometimes it's a bit difficult as you're trying to anticipate how much your opponent will clear or what kind of score they'll get. So yeah, he's pretty close to it, so I think he will still make it, which is good for him, because he just has one more fight to go after this, and that should allow him to get to Kyber. So hope he gets there. Let me take a look here at defeats. Yeah, still gotta get that 1 kill with Darth Vader and these Fleet Arena battles as well. Yeah, maybe another interesting thing before I start fighting is two things actually. One thing is Supreme Leader Kylo is now at 180 out of 330 because I finished the second tier as well. And the other thing is that yesterday, after 1.5 years, I finally got a mod over 25 speed again, which is this circle here on Darth Revan. So that now puts my Darth Revan at 343 speed, as all the ones on the left are 26. And this one's still 20, so there's room for improvement here, but you know, triangles, bit difficult to get anything from. And then 22 speed here as well. I should actually lock this one so I can never sell it. But yeah, that's really awesome for me. 343 Darth Revan, and like I said, it's been 1.5 years since I had a mod this fast. So that's really cool, and it also allowed me to speed up my Bastilla Fallen with the mod that I got from Darth Revan. So she is now, I believe, 2 faster than before, whereas Darth Revan's 3 faster, so she's 314. So it's really nice. I do still have a guy with his payout before me who has like a 350 Darth Revan. So at some point in the future, when the meta isn't or is very speed dependent again, that will become an issue again. But for now, I'm pretty happy with this. So let's get into the Grand Arena match then, and take a look at what I can do here. So up top, he has put his right. Actually, there was one more thing I wanted to show you, because I was talking about the Bounty Hunter team and the Ewok team. So the way I balanced this whole board is sort of assuming that he was going to lose some banners here and there, because even my weaker teams are better modded than his. So if I take my Bounty Hunters as an example, and I really think it's important to talk about this for a minute. If I take my Bosk here, my Bosk is not the fastest, he's just a gear 12 character, I can't give him too much love, but he does still have 129 speed, and for some people that may look like, yeah, that's kind of what I expect from Bosk. And for others that looks like a lot, because that's sort of what they have on more important characters. Now the thing is that if you keep mod farming up over a long enough period of time, then getting sets that get you like 110, maybe 120 speed becomes pretty achievable, and you can start taking one character in each team like this, which is really important, in this case Bosk, and give him a lot of speed. So if he has a starting speed of 292, and he's under Django lead, that puts him at 322 speed. Now my Django is not really fast, because I just don't have good mods for him. And he's also just gear 11, so not as much of a priority yet. But allowing Bosk to taunt at the beginning can put me in a better position against some teams. Now he does not outspeed any Rey Jedi training teams, probably, because BB-8's likely always going to be faster. And he's definitely not going to hold back any CLS teams either. But against an Empire team, at least he can hold those back and force them to bring Thrawn that they might need somewhere else. And you also have characters like Boba, not the fastest again, but plus 30, he does end up at 283, so not the worst either. And these guys are pretty slow, but just putting that little bit of love into Bosk helps a lot here. And then the other one I actually still wanted to show is Ewoks. And my Ewoks, they're just gear 11, they look very harmless, but if you look at Paplu here has 220 speed, so he's got that 110 plus, 112 plus set, and then from his unique, I think, let's not accidentally Zeta this, he gets plus 25% speed at the start of the battle because he doesn't have taunt active at that point. So plus 25 speed on 220 is something like another 54 on top, so he actually starts at 274 speed. And that allows me to kickstart the whole team and get all the assists going, get Logray to daze their entire team. And even Logray is decently modded, I think, because he's at 222 speed, he's got over 100% potency, and some decent crit chance, because when they crit, they gain some turn meter. And these are the kind of things I feel like a lot of players overlook. They mod the top part of their roster really well, but then they kind of forget the bottom part or don't really care too much about it. But some things that you can really easily do is, like this mod here, it has a bit of potency, doesn't have any crit chance. This one has some potency as well. This one has both potency and crit chance, and these are the secondaries that I want on my Logray. And if I'm not happy with the ones that I have, I could sort for speed mods here and look for some speed mods that have both crit chance and potency secondaries, and maybe I'll have some laying around at similar speeds that do have these secondaries, like this one right here. It has more crit chance. It's sort of a trade for the offense percent secondary. And if I just put this one on here, then he drops his potency by a little bit, so I wouldn't want to do it necessarily, but he does gain some crit chance. But there are some optimizations you can make there depending on what mods you have laying around. People very often just have mods that could be swapped here that simply have better secondaries. And another character like that is TFP, who you would want to have a lot of crit chance so that he lands his tenacity down. So take care of those little characters at the bottom of your roster as well, because sometimes you'll need them, and if they're modded well, then that will make the difference. So now I'll get into the match. Sorry for the long intro. Newt over here with Short Trooper. Historically he mostly put Watt in here, but I think he clearly kept Watt with his bounty hunters. Then over here a Grievous team with BB-8. A Bastilla lead team, and this is why it kind of surprised me that he did well against my Grievous, because he came up with some kind of team composition that got 50 banners in the end, so got through but didn't quite make it. And without Bastilla, Jedi Knight Revan's pretty tricky. He does have a Relic 7 Grandmaster Yoda, so maybe that's how, but I don't quite know. So I don't really see that on defense a whole lot anymore. I don't really remember the last time I fought one. Then over here Geos with just gear 11 and 10. Let me just quickly check the crit chance, 54%. And then Darth Revan with Malak over here, but the Bastilla is a bit weaker. So I considered putting my Darth Revan on defense and then just using Padme over here. But I didn't know if he was going to put his Shaq clones in the back or not, if he was going to change anything up at all. So I figured let's not do that. Let's allow him to probably clear and clear myself and be more efficient. So I can get started with the Darth Revan match, I guess. Just going to go in with the full team. No reason to do anything different here. And see what we can do. Losing as little banners as possible, because this is always ugly in practice. Okay, we got some shocks. That's always nice. A lot of people like to sort of do the stun here, but he's already got the shock, so there's not much of a reason. Now, I'll just do the AoE. Can also save it up, but I like to do more overall damage. Oh, wow. That's actually strange. I think the damage applied separately there across the different grenades, and that briefly dropped Darth Revan under the death mark threshold, which got him instantly killed from the grenades that came after. That's like an interesting order of operations thing I've never seen in my life, and am now currently regretting. Well, let's see where we can get. But this might end up being very ugly. It's probably going to end up as Malak versus Malak. Okay, he can drain out. It should be possible to drain out Darth Revan here, but not quite sure. Let's give it a shot. Yes, okay, good. I'm pretty sure if this was back in the sort of the time of Darth Revan mirror matches, I would remember. I just haven't seen this in forever, where he gets blown up because the death mark applies so quickly. Let's just take him out and now start trying to not drop him into... I was hoping I could save my HK there, but it's going to come down to Malak versus Malak almost immediately. Let's get the stun first and then the drain. That didn't quite work out either, so this is super ugly on banners. Literally the lowest possible. Yeah, this is why I don't really like Darth Revan versus Darth Revan, but hey, got it done in the end. Let's see, Geo's over here. So I have some options. Because he probably didn't put his Shaq clones on defense, it's almost impossible. I could use my Treya nest here, or I can just go with Plo nest. The issue with Plo nest is it takes forever, and I don't want to risk a game crash, to be frank. So I might just go in with Treya nest, and then I can just do something with EP, Scion, and Nihilus and make that work. Although it's a very slow Geobrute Alpha. So that's pretty nice. Let's do Plow Nest. And if I lose it, then I can just use Treya and Scion and be fine. And then I'll make it work for the rest. I mean, there's really no reason to do Plow Nests because I'm gonna lose the exact same character. Let's just do this. After that rough opening battle. I've had enough of the match already. Nah. Let's do this. Plow Nest should be able to handle it very easily because of the low gears and the rest, but actually wondering if they can even get through Treya. That's an interesting thought there that I hadn't considered. I just assumed that Treya will die, but who knows? That was the spy special. Maybe if I can get them down before the second spy special, then she can live. Nah, the expose air is gonna get it done. Just before it's over. Let's kill Sunfac. See if my nest can now get the job done before she dies. Yes. Okay, so saved myself one banner there and got 60. That's pretty funny, but she was gonna go down. Let's take a look at what's in the back. Ah, he did put his Shaq on defense. Wow, okay. That's very impressive that he managed to get so far then. So he did end up doing the exact same thing as before. Interesting. Well, I've got my Padme against that, so I'm not particularly worried. It's just that I'm thinking, like, how did he manage to get through those teams? Bounty Hunters against Night Sisters makes sense. I'm just mostly wondering about the Grievous team. Because I thought maybe he added, what he historically often did was take his Jedi team, then put in General Skywalker as a 5th, and that would allow him to break Grievous teams. But if in this case he didn't, then maybe he just used like regular Padme against my General Skywalker, and then actually winning that with his gear levels, because he's only got Relic. He does have a Relic 7 General Kenobi. I thought it was 3. So okay, that would be feasible. A bit of a stretch, as always, because I play these battles myself, but definitely possible. So maybe that's what he ended up doing. Cool, good to know. So I'll be using my Padme over here then. My own Jedi up against the Grievous team. I'll have to see about Newt here, don't quite know yet. Let's start with Grievous next. So because there is a BB-8 in there, obviously want to go with Bastilla lead. Jolie second. And there we go. Now something I think I might want to start trying sometimes is putting Old Ben instead of Hermit Yoda. Mostly because I really like the idea of, let me think here, do I want to do anything different? Not really. I like the idea of being able to ability block and TM removal, all of them. That's pretty nice, but I'll have to see. Maybe find another place to mess around with that a little bit than Grand Arena. Just gonna basic still. The next one should be, oh, it's already a kill. That was kind of unexpected, to be honest. Man, this B1 is an annoying one. Too many assists for my liking. I still haven't handed out the buffs yet. Let's see, I think I should try to get a kill on BB-8 now. Might be a bit too soon. I'm thinking what I want to do. Maybe not think too long, let's try. Oh yeah, it's a Relic BB-8. That'll take a little while to get through. So let's do this, but I do have to kill him before... Oh my, don't go for Jolie. Don't do that, sir. I'm gonna swap with Hermit Yoda because I want to try to get Master's Training on my Jolie sooner. Let's do the heal here. Just gonna hit B1 here actually. And hope this will allow me to kill BB-8. Nope. Come on, it's so close. Well, Jolie's gonna get the kill then. Okay, they're in decent shape. I'm happy enough with that. Now if I can get a move over to... Yes, there we go. That's what I was hoping for. I guess the triggering the savior there helped me. Now I just want to wait and get my direct focus back, which is not going to be possible because I'm basically forced to kill Magnagard here. So let's hope Grievous doesn't go after Jolie. And there we have the direct focus. Perfect. He's still got some good buffs. Let's start thinking about banner recovery. I can reduce his turn meter here. There we go. I was hoping that heal would be available. Let's use it now. Although he's a bit low on turn meter, not so great of a swap. I don't think I'll get direct focus back before this is over though, so it's whatever. Can anyone recover here? I can probably get Grandmaster Yoda there, just from these assists. Nope, he's gonna get a... Oh, he doesn't get a move. I just barely beat him there. Let's try and get Bastilla there. Although she should actually still be there. Spread the buffs. And then try and get JKR there. 56. I thought some of them were closer. Not too happy with that. Okay, I'll do the Padme fight next. Let's think, do I want to... Yeah, I'm just going to go with R2 as I normally would up against a General Skywalker team. Just because I can keep them stealth and prevent Arc from dispelling people. And the counters from Shakti as well. So this is my preferred fifth here. Oh, nice. They got the protection up there so that if Echo throws a grenade, I at least don't get stunned. So he did enough... I guess he did enough damage there to... well, at least Padme can cleanse it because there's no cooldown reductions. But I guess they did enough damage there with the grenades to first burn through my protection up. Man, I've got to pay attention to all these order of operation thingies. Let's... Well, I'm stealthed, so the retribution doesn't help me too much. Let's just kill 5s. That was a bit more damage than I thought I was going to do. But then again, without General Skywalker, they're definitely easier to kill with this team. So let's kill Rex. Try and go for Echo next. Well, I don't really need to try here. This is not enough to kill him, so let's get Shaq. And that should be 55. Again, these are pretty ugly, so if my opponent would have only failed on... Well, not failed, if they wouldn't have failed but just lost their banners on my teams, then it might actually have ended up being really close. So I'm glad he did end up failing because he lost 10 banners on each of these fights. But for the rest, I think, besides the losses, he didn't have the worst efficiency. So if I just add 40 banners to his count in the end, then as long as I scored over 1900, then I'm fine, which I should. But it gives me an indication of sort of how good I actually played. And I'm not through yet either, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. The new team, I want to take a look at how the nest is modded. Speed set. Okay, so some decent speed on there. And what are the options that I have left? CLS is not really nice here because of the nest. Something I could do is use CLS with Nihilus. So CLS, Thrawn and Nihilus or something like that, just to avoid any risk of getting stuck on Nest towards the end. That could help me nicely. And then allowing me to recover all of my protection banners as well. Up against Bastilla, I can use my Rage Edit training if I want. And then over here in the back I can use... I guess I kind of want to keep Thrawn over here to be able to recover protection banners, as I still have to get a 1 kill with Vader. So Thrawn's not really a good pick then. Just bringing Nihilus though without really adding anything else, I'm not too sure about. I'm definitely going to be bleeding banners over here if I do that. I think I still have one more option, which was Geos. But Geos up against Nest is also not that nice. Really have to time that special with Spy while she has some good debuffs on her. She's decently fast though, so I'll definitely get the chance, I think. So maybe I'll end up going with that, and if it fails I should still be able to clean up. Geos up against Bastilla is not so interesting because there are absolutely no debuffs and it just takes forever, especially with the Barris. So I won't be doing that. And Rage Edit training over here. It's possible, it's not really my first choice. If I don't control them well enough, and I should check the speed on Dooku here. If I don't control them well enough, then they can really get going. He's pretty slow, so that part's okay at least. But not really my favorite matchup there, because it's a decently fast Nest as well. If they just get all the dazes, the extortion, a few stuns, it can, and then the crit hit immunity from shore as well, it can make Rage Edit training a really poor counter over here. So I'll actually go up against this one first, I think. Bring CLS, Han, Chewie. Wait, was I still thinking about using Geos? I think I was. Before I get ahead of myself here. Yeah, I'd like to try, I think. Because sure, I can quickly get rid of that one. It's going to be 55 if I do that. But as long as I win it, then it's fine. Droideka I can easily dispose of. The extortion, that's just the main pain as always. I'll just go with the CLS one. I can start by stunning Dooku. Let's try something a bit different in this scenario. Also the turn meter removal. Like I could either bring C-3PO or Old Ben here. C-3PO adds a lot of damage obviously, so that's pretty nice. Old Ben some more control, whereas these guys already all have some kind of control move, so that can really solidify my position, so to speak. I could also bring Scion instead of Nihilus, make him tank all the hits, because I don't really need Scion with my Empire team up against the Karth team, so that might actually end up making more sense. Also because if they hit Scion then with debuffs, then my Nihilus will gain a lot of health. So that's pretty good too. I think I'll end up doing this. It's an odd mix, but let's make it work. One thing I didn't pay attention to is who's going to get guard, but I was fairly sure it was going to be CLS here. There we go. It's always nice to immediately dispose of Dooku, and I didn't need C-3PO's exposes to do that, so I'm happy about that. I could have saved this one for when Droideka rolls, but I have CLS for that and I have Chewie for that, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to let Nest take a turn. Although I don't really need her to take any turns at all, if I think about it. Because I have Nihilus, so if I can just permanently lock her down and limit her to those counters, that would be pretty good. Oh yeah, I also have a Dispel with Nihilus, so actually almost everyone in this team is a Dispel. That's pretty nice. Okay, let's handle Droideka. I'm probably going to finish Droideka off here. Anyone I can stun? Nope. Let's let's take a look. Is pain on anyone? Just these 3. I don't want to kill Newt yet because that extortion is super annoying. I want to wait until I have an AoE Dispel available again before killing Newt. Oh wow, my Nihilist just crit for 10k. That's that's actually kind of funny. So we keep controlling Nest. And now I'm going to dispose of Newt. So the banners for the most part are looking pretty good. So as long as I can control Nest and stop her from taking any turns at all until I have my Annihilate available, then I should be fine. But I think she's about to take a turn here. Maybe CLS will beat her. Nope. I was just a little bit short there. That's a pity. I should be able to max Scion in these 3 though. So all in all, I think I'll be okay. Daze on Chewie. That's a bit annoying. Yeah, this should stun. Okay, then it's going to be 2 more turns. So now I can just keep reducing her turn meter. I can max my protection on Scion. Wow, I'm actually hitting through the protection up here. Let's boost this a little bit. Okay, well, I guess this works as well. Chewie is almost full, so this should be 59. Yes. Okay, that's better than if I would have sent in Geos, which I really don't think there was going to be any chance to get 60 with. So happy enough with that choice. Yeah, Rage Edit Training. I still have my C-3PO for that as well, so let's have some fun with that. Because there's no R2, so no AoE exposed at least, so I'll have to do a lot of focus damage with this team. Now, I'm not going to bring Ray Scavenger here. I should really not underestimate this team though, because they can do quite a lot of damage. Geos might end up being fun as well at some point, but I'll focus on this. Now, Old Ben doesn't add anything. Shaq, she can like top up a bit of protection, she can dispel some stuff, it's not the worst. But the added value is also pretty limited. Kylo Ren Unmasked is one I've used in the past because he can add that extra stun and control which can be resisted even though they have so much tenacity up. So that's probably who I'll end up adding over here. Geobrute Alpha would be another option if I don't really end up using them that I'm considering. I think I'll actually do that. Why not? Just let them spend all of their time on the Brute, and in the meantime these guys take over. Also because his AoE, once they've lost protection, can add some exposes. He does have an AoE Dispel as well, so I think he'll do nicely here. Do definitely miss my R2 here. I didn't really think about it with the choice earlier. I could have just brought Shaq and tried to top up some protection banners, but it's fine. I don't really foresee any issues. So in a team like this, generally you just want to focus on Bastilla if you can, because she just is the one with the most power on the team because of the buffs that she shares and because of the Dispel that she has, and other than Ezra, the biggest damage dealer, I suppose. Now there's no AoEs on the team, so as long as I can make my Brute regain his taunt often enough with all the counters, then I shouldn't really even get anyone else hit. So that's pretty nice. And I'm already through, but still has protection here. And from there on out, it's pretty easy to finish this off. Next target will be Ezra. The healing immunity completely neuters Barriss. So this kind of defensive team, I think it only works if you sort of flood the field with a lot of other teams that your opponent might want to use their Rage Edit Training against. I know I've got Geobrute Alpha in here, but you'll be able to tell these 4 would have probably been able to do this just fine. I'm just in a position where I don't have to risk anything, because the only gain I would have here is 1 more banner which to me isn't really enough to risk losing a match. Which again, I don't think there is a risk, but I've seen crazy things happen which I didn't expect, so might as well not take it for granted. Just takes a little bit of time. You need to get those healing immunity hits with Rage Adder training to come back around for pretty much every single character because of Barris. Though the exposes, they really do add a lot. Next target is Qui-Gon Jinn. And I want to see if I can top off my Geobrood Alpha eventually. Okay, I got the Termeter removal there, so that's what I was looking for. And Barris in the end, it's going to take a little bit of time, maybe, I don't quite know yet. But the exposes do so much damage that I'll be okay. There's not really going to be any chance for me to recover the protection on Brute. So I guess you could say it costs 2 banners to bring him along, but it also just makes sure that I absolutely cannot lose. Just gonna mute. So I'm really curious about that battle I did there at the, let's just do this for absolutely no reason, but the Darth Revan battle. I'm sure like it's the way I explained it, where it's a matter of Sith Empire Trooper rather, just dropping under the half health threshold and getting hit first, and then Darth Revan getting hit, like one of those order of operation things where if Geos attack, then the attack order matters as well, but it's difficult to predict. I think in this case the grenades, they probably hit the main target first and then the other ones, and because of that a situation like this can happen. I would just think that this would have happened so much more often, like that I would have seen it so much more often, considering there was a Darth Revan meta and it did this forever, but I probably just forgot. Either way, I'm going to be one-shotting stuff, so that's fine. So Darth Vader, he needs to get 1 kill. As long as he gets his kill, I've got the feat, and then I'm good. I can probably bring like Old Ben and TFP, something like that. Or just Tarkin for even more control. Let's do Tarkin because he actually takes some turns as well. Another option would be Death Trooper, but this guy just adds a lot more debuffs. Yeah. Although there's a risk of him dying because he's somewhat squishy. So let's be smart about it actually. Let's bring Death Trooper. Also for the dazes that are really nice. For the dispel and to speed up the battle if I want to or need to at any point. Alright, what have we got? Let's go for mission first. She looks, I don't know why, her health is a bit squishier, but the protection shouldn't be. Okay, fine. That's good. I just really have to, I'm trying to remind myself in my head right now, please use the, get the kill with Vader. That's most important here. That's why I'm using this specific team here. Just try and get it done. I'll just daze. Yep, there go the banners. Okay, I set him up for his kill. But I will AoE here though, so I'll just get another kill. And that's what I'll tell myself the next 3 times, and then I don't get it. Let's drop her under. Let's do the AoE. Shock on Juhani. Don't know if this is gonna kill. Nope. Okay. This might. Okay, close enough. Okay, let's start by recovering protection on Darth Vader. And there I got my kill. Nice. I'm just gonna get an extra one for good measure, because you never know. I don't want to speed this up because I still have to get enough turn meter swaps in. It was kind of a waste here in the end to bring Death Trooper, because he's just an extra banner I have to recover. Don't want to do the fracture because the fracture makes it take a lot longer for me to get my turn meter swaps back. So Death Trooper next, and then it's just EP, and then it's fine. And I can save the fracture if I don't land a stun here, but I do. The health is always way squishier though than the protection. Yeah, not gonna get it here. Well, 59, I'll take it. Not gonna be difficult about it. And in the fleet, I didn't even look. I think it's just gonna be his Akbar fleet. Yes, okay, 4 reinforcements. I mean, it makes sense if it's an Akbar fleet, but hey. I've seen some people set strange fleet compositions. So, Y-Wing, Jedi Knight Anakin, and in this case, do I want to do 5s? Yes, I do. I can try it without Ahsoka, but again, no reason to push the limit. I'm pretty sure I can do it. Let's push the limit, because I've got this in the bag anyway. It should be possible. I've done it before. It's entirely feasible, but yeah, it depends a little bit on what you end up hitting where. So let's put the offense down on Hera. Take out Biggs, and then almost the Ghost. Yeah, I said Hera, but it's obviously the Ghost. This won't dispel, but it will taunt, and then the taunt is going to immediately get dispelled, so I'm just going to basic and save it for, like, I'm going to make Plo do the taunt essentially, if that makes sense. I'll save the AoE as well for when the first ship gets called in, if a first ship gets called in. Nope, okay. So I could have actually gone without Plo here. 66, then it would have been a little bit more. I didn't expect it to work out this well though, so that's nice. 1914, so even if he would have had 40 more banners, then I would have still had a almost 20 banner margin, so that's quite alright. That's not the best score, but I bled some banners on some of the fights, and ultimately did end up getting the win, and I got the feat. So I'm pretty curious now what rank I'm ending up at after claiming both of these, actually. I'm sure some people have already completed the fleet feat, even though it literally just launched. Let's see, it says 47 now, but if I go in, it's going to update, I think. Unless I'm wrong, and a lot of people, yeah. So 14, that's actually nice. It's pretty decent. And it's funny because 2 more banners and I would be rank 11. But from there on out, you get the big gap from people who have always been scoring like 1930s. And I think in this season I've gotten 1915 or even 1900 a couple times. And it's those matches across 3 weeks, or rather 4 weeks almost in this case, that add up to a couple hundred banners. I don't know if I missed any feats. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really been paying attention to that. Maybe one of them early on or something like that. But probably not, judging by the banners that they have. So all of this that you see, like the number 1 here has 170 more banners, so that's purely from, my guess is from just scoring higher across the matches. So if there have been 11 matches so far, then they basically score an average of 10 more banners per match, like 15-ish, I think, actually. Unless they did do the fleet feed, but I highly doubt that these guys did. So about 15 more banners per match, and that's pretty feasible on average if I look at my scores. So just super skilled players, really. If you're trying to get to the absolute top, then that's what it takes. Just consistent, very high scores. A lot of banner matches, no mistakes in any of the fights. No real opportunities to go very heavy on defense anywhere, because you always want to get that full clear. So definitely very impressive how high people are getting here. For me, that takes it to the point where I'm not really getting fun out of Grand Arena anymore. I tried it in the past, but just the odds of someone auto-deploying and completely trashing your possibility to get into top 10, it's just not so attractive to me. This season, it didn't happen to me. So if I would have maybe tried a lot harder, then I could be top 10 now. But yeah, it could still happen. Well, it's not going to happen in the finals, but it could have still happened in the first match of this week, for example, where someone just forgot to set their defense. As the month progresses, the odds drop a little bit, but not very much. So this is how it happened for me. The reason why I'm saying this is when I was back in Division 3, I was in my 3rd week, and then in the 2nd round or something like that, someone auto-deployed, and in the 3rd round, someone said literally everything on defense to sort of sabotage me. They even messaged me like, yeah, I saw you got a high rank, and I felt like the match was unfair, so I said everything on defense. It's like, okay, thanks. So I guess if you can't have a win, then I can't get a rank either. So that is pretty unfortunate, but there are players like that in the game who are just going to throw away weeks of trying to get into some kind of high rank. So yeah, that's it for me. I had a decent match. It was an interesting opponent. It was pretty difficult to prepare for him and try to make sure that I was going to get a guaranteed win, which is what I usually try to aim for. But yeah, let's see in the finals, who am I going to face? It's going to be a guy either called Clint or Gellert. Clint over here, again, pretty high arena rank for the team that he runs. From the guild Starforge Mandalore. And to my surprise, no General Skywalker. I mean, after seeing that arena team, it's not a surprise, but he's just one of those Zeta guys, isn't he? Like Zeta, Gear 11, Leia, Cody, Maul. So impressive how far he's gotten so far. And then the other one, so I have no idea which of the two is better. It's still a Gear 12 arc. That's tricky though. If you do a General Skywalker mirror match, I've occasionally almost killed lower geared ones just from counters with General Skywalker. And is going for Kylo. So I don't know if he has done it like me, where he already upgraded the characters. But yeah, it's going to be either of these guys. And my guess would be the General Skywalker person, but you never know. The other one's gotten pretty far so far. Let's look at the ranks. This one's 2k, right? 2k in Aurodium. Yes, and the other one, it's got a decent lifetime score as well. Both of them do, actually. They're actually around the same rank, 2009 and 2011. So 2 ranks apart. So that's a question mark, one of the two then. Alright, well, take care everyone. Good luck with your final round. Hope it's going to go well, and I'll see you all again for that match.